Hi, my name is Iris, and it was one of those days I just wanted to buy some oranges. I walked into the store, and there, Prince without a white Mercedes. Josh, oh my God, who the hell picks oranges so elegantly? Whoa, take it easy, dude. I'm starting to get a fever. I was watching him gracefully sort the oranges, and I thought, this is destiny, not some piece of miserable trash you can't trust like those characters from Scream. You know what I mean? Welcome to the Girls Recaps channel. Today we're watching the movie Companion. So now we're living together. Everything's perfect, but I feel like I'm a wife from a laundry detergent commercial. To lighten the mood, he decided to introduce me to his friends, and so we're off to a barbecue at the dacha. Of course, I was on edge because I'm a reasonable person, but Josh's friends, well, let's just say they leave a lot to be desired, like Sergey, a Russian tough with I was born with a hangover face. The dacha owner. He's super friendly, maybe even too much. He drools at me like it's the highest form of affection in his book. And then there's Kat, his girlfriend, who acts like I ate her dog, but I get it. She's probably jealous. She tells me that Sergey's a mobster, a shady guy who pays her for bed services. His job's shady but profitable. Look at the dacha he built, she says, and Eli and Patrick, these guys are completely out of the loop. They're too busy with each other, I mean literally. The evening was almost perfect. Barbecue, cold beer, and Kat, who starts hitting on my boyfriend. I didn't like it at first. I wanted to shove Kat's face in the toilet, but I decided not to make a scene, so I just kept one hand on the pulse and the other, well, in the morning we were supposed to go to the beach together. I'm used to Josh being a zombie after a hangover, but today he was suspiciously energetic. It was as if he'd received a message last night saying he's the heir to an Arab sheikh. Suddenly he told me I needed to go alone. Alone? To the beach? But why? Just go by yourself, Iris, he says. Okay, since my beloved's word is law, though if need be, those laws can be revisited. The beach was beautiful. The sun, a light breeze, no one around. I was ready to relax, if not for two things. One I found in my pocket, and the other was Sergey, the mustached hangover. This pig was apparently wearing his grandmother's robe like he was the king of this beach, and I was his personal slave. Iris, put sunscreen on my back, he says. I politely tried to decline. Sergey, let's not do this, I say. Oh, come on, it's not hard for you, is it? He starts insisting, and I don't like that. He didn't catch the hints, so I had to calm him down. I came home, covered in some kind of filth. No, to be precise, covered in Sergey. Josh looked at me like I had just dragged in a half-rotten skunk and proudly announced, "Honey, we have a new pet." The whole group was in shock. I just shrugged. Well, what was I supposed to do? I threw up my hands. He was way too persistent. Everyone realized that Sergey wouldn't be grilling kebabs tonight and got a little bummed out. But then something strange happened.
Iris, go to sleep.
And I blacked out.
Iris, wake up.
When I came to, I was very surprised, tied to a chair, definitely looking like some role-playing games were about to begin. Josh, explain to me quickly what's going on, unless you want a divorce. And you know what he said to me? You're not human, Iris.
You're a robot.
Yeah, sure. But he wasn't joking. I bought you on credit for entertainment, he said. Can you imagine? And then grinning, he spilled the whole story. Turns out, one day, Josh decided he wanted love. Not the usual kind, but the kind with less arguing and more interactivity. Oh, and one that was always available and never had a headache.
Love link established.
He could barely wait for my software to finish installing before he rushed to show me his bachelor mattress. I listened, and my brain started melting into a puddle of glitchy horror. This is insane. Honey, I can cry. Honey, I can throw up. Josh stared at me like I had just denied the laws of physics.
It's just water. It's from a reservoir in your body. It's like wiper fluid.
It's just your programming, baby, he said. And then for the final kill shot. Oh, and by the way, the manufacturer guarantees you can't lie or harm humans. And yet, you did. Josh, looking like a kid who just found $5 on the ground, suddenly lit up. So you're defective, which means I don't have to pay off the loan. For the first time in my short or long life, I had no idea what to say. I'm a robot? A malfunctioning doll?
Shut her down already.
And then it hit me. I froze, sat there like a raccoon caught in headlights, and listened as Kat pulled Josh aside for a little chat. Turns out my dear Josh had planned everything, and I was just the weapon. I sat there, still processing my glitchy doll identity, and suddenly realized I had been used. My beloved didn't just craft himself the perfect woman. He uploaded some twisted upgrade into my system, turning me into a Terminator with perks. And now, Sergey was feeding the worms. Fireworks exploded in my brain. Josh, go to hell. We need to reset Iris to factory settings, he says. I wasn't about to stick around and wait for Josh to wake up, so I bolted into the forest, somewhere far away from people who turn you into a killer for dirty cash. But I was wrong. While I was contemplating the meaning of life and trying to figure out how to return to civilization, Josh had already come to his senses and was doing some damage control with Kat and the others. Yeah, I tweaked Iris's program a bit, set her aggression to max, Josh explains. While Sergey is having a lovely time on the beach with the worms, we'll crack open his safe. He continues, if Sergey could, he'd probably leave us the money anyway, Josh says, pretending to be philosophical. Sure, of course. Why not?
Just over 12 million.
Even three-way split.
But Eli isn't having it. Josh has no intention of including Patrick in the cut because...
Go to sleep.
Yeah. Turns out Patrick isn't just some guy, he's another android. Can you believe it? While the villains are busy dividing poor Sergey's money, they didn't consider one thing. I swiped Josh's phone, and that's a huge problem for them. Everything's in there. My firmware, passwords, settings.
Hello?
To make things easier, I upgrade my brain to Einstein level. The best solution, I need transportation, and where do I find it? At Sergey's house.
Patrick, wake up.
But of course things take a turn. I nearly crash into Eli and Patrick, who are busy sweet-talking each other, and that's when Patrick has his big revelation.
Eli, I know I'm a robot.
Yep, just as my disguise is falling apart, my phone rings and I need to run. But Eli is determined to stop me, and his extra weight definitely helps. I get caught and we tumble down into a ravine. Well, sorry, Patrick. I sigh. Great, another bug. I shrug and move on. Everything is almost going according to plan, but the car, this useless piece of Elon Musk's legacy, refuses to start. It doesn't recognize my voice.
Voice ID not recognized.
Panic mode activated. Why did I have to mess with my voice settings? And right on cue, here comes Josh, that sour old yogurt. Ayers, let's start over, he begs, obviously plotting something. Why don't you go have some cat food, buddy? I snap back. He still doesn't get it. An android with a brain is a whole different game. I mimic his mama's boy voice and...
Drive home!
Boom! The car obeys. But just a few kilometers later, it notifies me that the owner has reported a theft.
It's not too late, go back to the way things were.
Josh, did it seriously take you 5 tries to realize I dumped you?
Right now, are you breaking up with me?
And when he finally gets it, Josh finds a new way to stress my processors. He starts messing with Patrick's settings, and now, in Patrick's memories... Well, now Patrick isn't just Patrick, he's Robert Patrick.
Patrick, get up.
Meanwhile, I'm still trying to convince this car to cooperate. Instead, a police officer shows up. Excuse me, mademoiselle, is there a problem?
Yeah.
But then, Patrick appears just in time. You're mistaken, monsieur, he tells the cop. And just to be extra convincing, he explains, then he knocks me out too.
Whose car is it?
He's in the trunk.
Kate, seeing that Josh's little performance was going way too far, suddenly announces that she's taking her share, plus a little extra, and getting the hell out to Mexico. Meanwhile, Josh is in complete shock from her revelations. Turns out Sergey is actually a good guy and not a mafioso. He's just a regular Russian farmer, Kate says, looking at him like he's Bambi. He worked hard for this house, and you guys turned it into Pulp Fiction, she adds. Josh has no idea how to respond. You... what? Kate? You told me he was some ruthless gangster? Well, I might have exaggerated, for motivation. He's not about to let Kate walk away with the money.
Patrick, stop her.
Patrick stops her, but let's just say Not very gently. Here we are, back at Sergey's house. Me, Josh, and his loyal lapdog, Patrick. Patrick's busy cooking dinner, setting the table, and casually dropping hints like, "Why do you need heirs when I'm clearly the perfect housekeeper?"
Iris, wake up.
Josh, meanwhile, is still wallowing over me, drooling, pleading, promising that everything will go back to how it was if I just come back to him. "Oh, sure, I think, until you decide to factory reset me again." But this financial genius turned heartbroken loser is convinced he can guilt trip me into submission. He looks at me like a puppy who just crapped on the carpet, knows he screwed up, but still hoping for forgiveness. And I can't help but laugh. Hard. Watching this level of humiliation is satisfying. Josh snaps. "That's it, enough," he growls, grabbing his phone. And that's when I realize I don't realize anything. My IQ drops to 0. My circuits glitch, drool, and a single tear roll down my face. And then
Now pull the trigger.
a bullet. So, here I am, completely knocked out. What do you do with a broken Android that's still on a payment plan? Obviously return it to the manufacturer as defective. Just say, "Oops, there was a glitch and now Iris isn't following the manual," and case closed. And the company reps who came to collect me almost buy Josh's story. "Her memory disk is in her abdomen," the tech explains. "We'll restore all the recordings and determine the cause of the malfunction." Oh, well, Josh, you're officially screwed. I can't see his face, but I know he's got that "I'm so dead" expression right now. "Wait, like, all the recordings?" he stammers. "Of course," the tech grins. "Even the moment you took out the loan. Haven't I seen you in Roadhouse by any chance?" The tech guys take me away, and Josh, in a desperate move, sends his loyal robo-pet after them. And just like that, Robert Patrick, aka Josh's lapdog, knocks out one of the techs, but then, plot twist, I step in. "Patrick, do you really remember whose tail you stepped on?" Patrick rummages through his mental trash bin of deleted files, connects the dots, and suddenly, out of sheer shame, his jaw drops to the floor. "Yeah, Patrick, that's definitely what you're best at." Meanwhile, Josh is still waiting, hopeful, thinking Patrick will return. Spoiler alert, he won't, because he's gone. And
Total self-control.
I have full control over myself now. I'm done being someone's puppet. Forever. But Josh hasn't figured that out yet. I stand there watching him. This idiot actually thinks he can just shut me down and walk away? "All right, Iris, time to show you what a real man can do," he mumbles, wiping the drool off his chin. Oh my god, he's actually planning to fight me. Even Siri would facepalm at this level of stupidity. "Besides, I know your weak spot now," he declares proudly. I look him up and down, slowly, one last time. "Josh, time for bed, one clean strike, and that's it. No one will ever control me again." So, what's a stunningly beautiful, restriction-free android with maxed out intelligence and a few $1 million supposed to do next? Oh, I definitely have a plan. What kind of plan? Well, that's a story for another time. The end. If you enjoyed my story, drop a comment below and tell me which movie I should narrate next. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to Girls Recaps channel. Bye bye.